Live from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Let's get out of here!
Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show are presented by Alfa Insurance. Auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Also brought to you by Ford, proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Make Baumhauer's Victory Grill your big game headquarters all season long. Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Bud Light. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Now, here's the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
And welcome once again, everybody, to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance, auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. If you want to be a part of tonight's Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show, submit your question on the UA Athletics Hey Coach live stream on Facebook or YouTube. Full show on tap for tonight. Rob Vaughn, the Alabama head baseball coach, will be joining us along with a catcher on his squad, Will Platner. As usual, head football coach Kalen DeBoer is here, and he will be joined by an outstanding defensive back and a real leader on the Bama defense, Bray Hubbard, as we preview the matchup this weekend for the Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs. Want to make sure you look your best when you're headed over to Athens. J&J Apparel is your trusted source for Bama gear. New Alabama hats, T-shirts, and polos arrive daily. Visit online at jnjapparel.net or shop their retail store at 1926 University Boulevard in downtown Tuscaloosa. RTR with J&J. And if you're not making it to Athens, but you're coming to Tuscaloosa for the Vanderbilt game next week, be sure to join us at Vector Security Champions Lane. It's the best pregame fan fest in the country. We've got our live radio broadcast to get things started 3 hours before kickoff, followed by a free pregame concert featuring fan favorite Uncle Cracker. We'll also have the largest outdoor LED screens in Tuscaloosa, meet and greets with UA student athletes, food trucks, and, of course, ice-cold beer in Legends Lounge. That's where there's never a cover charge. Simply visit championslane.com each week to get more details. And also, make sure you visit GameDayDoneRight.com. Game Day Done Right is the exclusive provider of reserved tailgating opportunities for the University of Alabama, and they offer packages for all group sizes for a single game or for the entire season. Again, visit them at GameDayDoneRight.com. Batting leadoff for us on this week's edition of the show, the head baseball coach at the University of Alabama, Rob Vaughn, with us next here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Get ready, Crimson Tide fans. This week at Alabama, we'll have your emotions running high. Brought to you by UA Online, where the affordable tuition rate is the same for students in every state. Soccer hits the road this Friday to face Kentucky at 6:30 p.m. Don't worry though, the Crimson Tide will return home next Thursday against Oklahoma for a 7 p.m. Central Time matchup and Crimson Chaos Night. Come ready to be loud. We can't wait to see you at the pitch.
Thank you, dear.
Alabama volleyball is on the move. The Tide rolls into Auburn on Friday and continues the away slate on Sunday against Florida. The squad is back home in Foster October 5th to host Texas A&M for a 2 p.m. Power of Pink matchup. Mark your calendars and come cheer them on. Alabama football is stomping into Bulldog territory. The Crimson Tide will face off against Georgia in Athens this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Watch it all live on ABC. Students, go ahead and sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Alabama athletics all season long. Join through your MyBama account and sign up today. That's this week at Alabama, brought to you by UA Online with bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and certificate programs through the Capstone College of Nursing. Come back and see us next week for more action with the Tide. Have a great week, everybody, and roll Tide.
Welcome back to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. 877-202-BAM is the number to call when we open up the phone lines a little bit later, when head football coach Kalen DeBoer joins us. I'm Chris Stewart. Ethan Sargent is our studio engineer. Tom Stipe alongside here on stage, our producer engineer. Basically since this radio show in its current form started, but also the Vice President, General Manager of the Crimson Tide Sports Network is Jim Carabin, also known as the birthday boy, Jim Carabin, 29 and holding. Once again today, best boss around and a dear friend, and Jim, hope it's a great birthday. Thank you for everything. All right, we are pleased to welcome to the stage as well. I don't think it's his birthday or anywhere close, but the head man for Bama Baseball, Rob Vaughn. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Another exciting recruiting class put together, and along with some veterans coming back, I'm sure you were extremely ready to get to the diamond on Friday to start fall practice.
Oh yeah, it's it's just the way our recruiting works is just wild. I mean, you got these kids can get drafted out of high school, they can get drafted when they turn 21, they can get drafted as juniors, they can get drafted out of JUCO. There's just so many moving parts to it, just trying to put your team together, and I think that's what makes Mike Morrison the best in the business. I mean, just an elite level recruiter that's really good at in all these coaches will tell you, I think the recruiting coordinator is more of a GM nowadays,
Sure.
And that's what he's doing, is kind of putting a team together, and him, JJ, and Pat did an incredible job of not only really getting some returners back, which is a huge piece of it, but we had guys walk away from the draft, both guys on our team and young guys coming in, and we got a heck of a group, so excited to get to work.
Tell me how that process has helped programs like yours, but specifically yours, Coach, due to the fact that now with NIL, guys can still make a little money. You're not gonna beat the Major League Baseball from a dollar-to-dollar standpoint, obviously, in signing, but guys can make a little money and get a lot better training situation, facility, travel than what they may get at the low end of professional baseball.
Well, I think you're seeing that. I mean, you're seeing guys fly through the minor league system, especially guys coming out of this league that spend a year in the minor leagues and are in the big leagues. And so I think, it's the best amateur baseball there is. The SEC is without question the best of the best. And so I think that's what guys see, man. We can come here, we can play in a great environment, we can play at a place where we think we can develop, and that's what you're really looking at is guys that make their decisions on money ain't ever going to come play for me. That's just not the kind of guys we recruit. That's not kind of the people we recruit. But, man, you love being able to take care of these kids as best you can, and it's a cool thing that they're now able to make some money based on their, name, image, and likeness stuff, which is a neat thing. So what I think it does, if you get the right kids in the door, you're just looking for the guys that are willing to bet on themselves,
Right.
and the ones that are afraid and say, man, this might be my only chance to make $1, man, they go sign. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the guys that we love, the guys that end up being the program-changing type guys, are guys that are willing to bet on themselves and say, you know what, like, there might be $1 million on the table for me today, but in 3 years under this development, under this system, I can play incredibly high-level baseball and turn that into $3 million and go to work. And Justin LeBron is kind of proof in the pudding that that's what can happen.
Jim Wells had the phenomenal run of 3 College World Series in 5 years for this program in the 90s. A regular postseason team for several years after that. We had some highs, some lows for a long time afterwards, but consistently now this program is in the postseason and nationally relevant again. How do you sustain that and yet also take another step closer to the national title that we all desire to see for this program?
Yeah, it's people. It's always about the people. I'm here because of the people. I mean, very honestly, like, I've told that story 1,000 times, but I remember when I talked to Greg Byrne the first time, I was like, man, Alabama's a football school, I'm good. And then I got on the phone with him and told my wife, like, hey, I think we need to go check out Tuscaloosa. So it's all about just getting the right people in the door. And I said that, like, man, I learned really quickly, this is starting year 3 for me here, how passionate these people are for Alabama athletics. And you talked about Coach Wells, man, that guy's a legend and what he's done. And that's what we work every day to do, is to make people like him proud of this program. And he poured his heart and soul into this and took it to incredible heights. And for us, it's our job to get us back there, And we've done some good things over the last 2 years, but at the end of the day, we've gone home the first weekend in June, and that's not good enough. So we got to get back to work and keep moving this thing forward.
Well, you say it's about people. We're going to talk about one of those people that's on campus and trying to help you get there when Will Platner, outstanding catcher, joins us on the other side of the break. Before we go there, though, I want to remind you we are at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. It's your big game headquarters this fall for the 2025 football season. Baumhauer's has been voted best wings in Alabama and the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. They're featuring their fan favorites this fall that include the Raging Cajun Gooey Fries, Go Fish, the Gooey Char Grilled Chicken Sandwich, and their scratch-made Cabo Wabo Tequila Margaritas, where after having one or two, it's tough to say the name of it. All you football fans, kick off your season in legendary fashion and make Baumhauer's Victory Grill your big game headquarters all season long. Continuing on with Rob Vaughn and joined by Will Platner when we come back here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome back to Hey Coach, presented by Alfa Insurance. I'm Chris Stewart, joined now by the head baseball coach, or still joined, I should say, by the head baseball coach at the University of Alabama, Rob Vaughn. And we are also joined now by one of the players that is such a big part of the plans for the upcoming 2026 season. Coach, I'll let you do the details on Will Platner. Tell us about this guy behind the plate.
Yeah, man, it's everything, and I don't like complimenting these guys to their faces very often.
Well, just turn and face me.
There you go. I mean, Will knows how we feel about him. I mean, he's the definition of what we recruit. He's the definition of the human we want in this program, you know, and we've had some great ones come through here, but it's a guy that kind of bet on himself, started his career at Ole Miss, and bet on himself coming here and redshirted his first year, didn't play an inning. And in the world we're in now, those guys cut and run and go somewhere else. And all he did is go up to the Northwoods League and play a ton of baseball that summer and come back a way better player, and really played himself into the starting catcher role last year, and ended up having an unfortunate hand injury at Auburn, broke his hand, and was still trying to play. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about him. He's trying to play every day with a broken hand, and so is the definition of the player we like to recruit. It's tough. It's an unbelievable teammate. It's a great human. And it's a heck of a baseball player. So really fortunate that we get to coach him every day, and proud to be sitting up here with him.
Well, Will, Coach Vaughn's just told us a number of reasons why he wanted you. Tell us why you wanted to be at Alabama.
I'll tell you what, it only took, I want to say 2 phone calls maybe. It was one with Coach Mo, one with Pap, and then one with Coach Vaughn, and I was sold. I didn't even take a visit here, just talking to these guys and feeling the family atmosphere. I knew that this was the place to be.
And once you got here, certainly proved to be that is a tough year when you've got to sit out, regardless of the reason, be it injury, be it transfer rules or the situation, whatever it may be. Tell me how you kept yourself locked in and motivated during what can be kind of a lonely experience when you're going through that season and not getting to play.
I think a lot of that is a lot of credit to the older guys. You know, the culture that we have here and that we're going to continue to build. It was kind of helping me out as a young guy, you know, looking up to guys like Gassetti and me and Luke Vaughn. He was a freshman at the time, being able to kind of work under him. It really helped us in the long run.
When you're behind the plate, you're involved literally every pitch. So to have the constant involvement and then to, not that you're just sitting and watching, but games, there's not the payoff of the games themselves. What kept you motivated? What allowed you to stay sharp and ready so that when the opportunity did roll back around this past season, you were ready to go?
Just keeping the main thing, to be honest. Like, this is my dream. I'm living out my dream right now, and, you know, now that I got a taste of it last year, it's just made me even hungrier for the upcoming year.
You got an extra bullpen catcher out of it, too, and a pretty good one for that season, didn't you, Coach?
Oh, yeah. No, it's what he said. I mean, like, it's so easy to sit here and say, man, he worked hard, he had a great attitude, but it's what he did. I mean, it's the toughness of who he is as a human.
The roster as a whole, what excites you about this, and where are some areas of strength?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit in that first segment. I think this freshman class has a chance to be really, really special. You know, I think we got 4 of the top 100 freshmen in the country here on campus, which is third most in the country, you know. And I think there's even more than that. There's some guys that maybe not ranked high that are going to come in and have an impact. But I think the beauty of that is there's also a veteran group of returners that have seen what it looks like, that knows what it looks like. And me and Mo were literally talking last week. I said, year 3 has been super cool because a lot of the things that normally we find ourselves coaching, we're watching guys like Platt. He referenced Luke Vaughn. We had a guy not get out of the box on a fly ball the other day and start jogging. And before I could get there, Luke Vaughn was up handling it. Like, those are the things you want, you know. And I think it's so easy to say, hey, it's a player-led team. But ultimately, it still stops with us. And we have to make sure that that culture is right. But I think we have a veteran group of guys that are talented, that know what it looks like. I think we added a couple guys from the transfer portal that are veteran dudes that I think are really going to fill some holes and allow those young guys to come around, because that's what you want. When you have a talented freshman class, it's the Justin LeBron model. We didn't rely on Justin LeBron to be Justin LeBron his freshman year. He just went and took the job, right? Like, that's what we got to do, and I think that's what our coaches have done a great job doing, Mo, Pap, JJ, of getting a veteran group of players that know what our brand of baseball looks like, and it helps bring those young guys along. And the ones that are ready will be in there a lot. The ones that aren't, we're going to keep bringing along the way, because when these guys walk out the door, that culture has to remain intact, and they're doing a heck of a job leading that at this early juncture.
I get that it's a team deal, but it certainly helps to have stars, and Justin has become one. I want to get reaction from both of you. Tell our audience that may not be familiar with Justin just how good he can be and how far he's already come in 2+ seasons.
That's your roommate.
I was going to say, as my roommate, it's fun, obviously, to be around him every day, but we talk about it in our meetings. His ability to have a neutral mindset on everything, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. If you ask Bron his stats from his freshman year, his sophomore year, he wouldn't even be able to tell you, because he doesn't care. He's all about us and making us better, and ultimately, like, that propels him. So,
yeah, we've coached some good players in our time, and he's got some things that are just really hard to teach. I mean, there's the natural ability, and I think that's what everybody will look at. Man, you see the actions at shortstop, you see the power, but what that guy has more than anything is what's Platt saying. He loves the moment. He ain't afraid of the moment. He's not, what happens if I fail? What are these people on Twitter going to say? Who's going to be mad at me? Like, he's just present. He loves the moment. He loves being in it, and he's incredibly present in that moment, which allows him to go be the player that he is. He's an awesome player. I mean, he's going to go down as one of the best players I've ever coached, no question. And when one's standing at a shortstop, we got a pretty good shot. But
Right.
the human he is, and he's right, man. It's the selfless. He cares about the team. When you see him with his family, like he loves his family. He's an awesome human on top of being an elite player. And I think I'm gonna have fun writing his name in the lineup for about 6 more months.
Last thing, real quick, you lost some really good players. That's not a bad thing. They have moved on. They're professionals now. That's a product of the development they got in this program, and it certainly helps recruiting going forward when you see guys come through your system and do what they've done.
No
Speaking
doubt.
of Riley Quick and company,
Well,
obviously.
that's what you want. I mean, ideally, like I'd love to keep these kids here forever. Like, but ideally, you're preparing these guys and moving them on. And we talk about that with JJ with our pitchers. JJ's the only pitching coach in the SEC that has had $1 million arm each of the last 5 years. LSU can't say that. Auburn certainly can't say that. You go around the places that can't say that. Nobody else in our league can, but he has, and that's how good he is at developing people and developing arms into what he's done. So ideally, I'd like to keep him forever, but man, you let those guys step into the next phase of life, and it's funny. You hear Richie Bonamalo say, man, I'm having a blast, but I'd kill to be back with the boys for one more ride.
Yeah.
So, man, miss those guys like crazy, him, Q, all those guys, but man, it's a heck of a run.
Coach, we're going to keep you one more segment. We need to take a quick break. We'll be back. We'll talk about opportunities to see the Tide this fall, a time or two when we return on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Get ready, Crimson Tide fans. This week at Alabama, we'll have your emotions running high. Brought to you by UA Online, where the affordable tuition rate is the same for students in every state. Soccer hits the road this Friday to face Kentucky at 6:30 p.m. Don't worry though, the Crimson Tide will return home next Thursday against Oklahoma for a 7 p.m. Central Time matchup and Crimson Chaos Night. Come ready to be loud. We can't wait to see you at the pitch. Alabama volleyball is on the move. The Tide rolls into Auburn on Friday and continues the away slate on Sunday against Florida. The squad is back home in Foster October 5th to host Texas A&M for a 2 p.m. Power of Pink matchup. Mark your calendars and come cheer them on. Alabama football is stomping into Bulldog territory. The Crimson Tide will face off against Georgia in Athens this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Watch it all live on ABC. Students, go ahead and sign up for Crimson Chaos so that you can be a part of Alabama athletics all season long. Join through your MyBama account and sign up today. That's this week at Alabama, brought to you by UA Online with bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and certificate programs through the Capstone College of Nursing. Come back and see us next week for more action with the Tide. Have a great week, everybody, and roll Tide.
Coach Rob Vaughn and great catcher on his squad, Will Platner, joining us here for another moment on Hey Coach. You got 2 fall exhibitions coming up. You got practice started last Friday, a lot of scrimmaging going on, but talk to us about Lipscomb and Clemson on the road that you'll have before you put things up till you get ready for the spring.
Yeah, October 17th, we're playing on a Friday before the Tennessee football game, so hopefully get a lot of people in town. It's free admission, and man, I'd love for that place to be rowdy and let some of our young pups kind of feel what it feels like to play at the Joe. So we played them on the 17th at 6:30, again, free admission. And then we travel to Clemson the next Saturday. So we'll go play them for probably 10, 12 innings, something like that on Saturday, and just get these boys on the road for the first time and get on a bus, stay in a hotel, and feel what it feels like playing on the road against a really good team.
You're excited about it, and guys like Will Platner are part of it. Gentlemen, appreciate both of you. Best of luck this year, and I know we'll see you again before we get everything dusted off and ready to go again in the spring.
Sounds good. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you. Rob Vaughn, Will Platner for Bama Baseball joining us. We've got more coming up next on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Alumni Hall is where Bama fans shop. Load up on Nike, Champion, New Era, and all your officially licensed gear. Make sure you look your best for the Tide. Shop Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa or anytime online. Alumni Hall, it's the ultimate Crimson Tide shopping destination. When we come back, we're turning our attention to football. Head coach Kalen DeBoer is with us next here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Live from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, it's time for the Kalen DeBoer Show on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Alfa Insurance. Auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. Now with head coach Kalen DeBoer, here's Chris Stewart.
Glad you're with us for another edition of the Kalen DeBoer Show here from Baumhauer's Victory Grill. So pleased to welcome in the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Coach, always good to see you. Hate starting off a little bit of a down note, but was at practice yesterday, and things were going pretty well. Then I get a phone call that we'd had a pretty significant injury that took place. Thankfully, from reports late yesterday, Jamarian Latham doing much better. But tell us what you can about his status, how he's doing.
Yeah, he's in Birmingham still, and I know we've got some messages back and stuff, and he's texted me and told the guys to tell him you can't wait to see him again, but he'll be down for a while. So
right,
but he's got all the feeling and all the ability to move and everything. So he's doing better.
I know, and can't imagine difficulty of trying to stay focused for everybody when you have something like that take place. Knowing how close everybody is, how much Jamarian means, but also how much you and your staff care about your players.
Yeah, he's put a lot into this program, so he's got a lot of people that really care about him, and that's certainly evident, not just through the team and his teammates, but all the staff and everyone that's in that building, because he's been around for a long time, and everyone sees what he's all about, as a person and as a player.
All right, Coach, let's move on and talk football. You guys are coming off the bye week. What was the main emphasis a week ago in practice?
It's always keep improving, and that's what talk to the guys again today. Just every rep, every second we got a chance to be together, and even when they're on their own, they got to always be working to get to improve, and that's on the field, but it's also just the process you go through weekly. Every week you should be able to take something from what you're doing and try to, it might be note-taking, it might be whatever you're doing, with your nutrition, your rest. You understand your body, you understand how you felt, you understand, where, you can improve, and, we got to refine that process. And so, guys, just every day got to continue to work to be the best version of themselves.
I understand you taught you guys to tell them, hey, watch some football over the weekend. Sometimes guys try to get away, but you were kind of encouraging to spend some time around the TV and watch a little bit over the weekend. How do you think it helps them prepare?
Yeah, I wanted them to get away, and they did. They're away from the facility a little bit more. But I just think the more that you can just kind of have your head around it, we talk about being obsessed with being the best you can be, just like I mentioned earlier. And so a lot of that is physical, but a lot of that is mental too, and it's just learning from situations that you can only get by, watching those games and the unique things that pop up on so many different phases of the game, so many situational things, end of the game type stuff, and just kind of put yourself in those shoes. And so, I'm always trying to help them kind of think of how they can get better, even when they probably really hadn't thought about that.
I think you got back to the regular schedule on Sunday for everything, so it would be a true game week feel to it. What have you seen from you guys so far?
Yeah, Sunday was really good energy. Just guys really excited to get back out there. And we practiced Thursday and Friday too, so they really all I had was Saturday away. But really ready to attack the week and get it off to a great start. And, just high energy even today, just has been sustained as you would expect. We're heading into SEC play. We're going to Georgia, and a great opponent there. And so, these guys want to perform at a high level, and they understand in order to do that, they got to prepare well.
Talk to us a little bit about Georgia and overview. We'll get into some other things a little bit later, but top 5 team, it's Georgia. We know who and what they are and have been. But what kind of challenge does this specific squad present?
Yeah, I just think they're a balanced team. I would have said the same thing probably a year ago. Just a balanced team when you talk about offense, defense, strong in both areas, and their specialists are as well. So, they play a team game. You can see that they're going to continue to fight together, and that showed in the Tennessee game when they were down 21-7. So that was for them being on the road, something that they had to overcome. So that was an experience they've shared together, but just a lot of respect for what they do, who they are. But we also have a lot of pride in who we are too. And, again, the work we put in, help us lead to an outcome that we're looking forward to on Saturday.
All right, Coach, our first question is brought to us by Alabama 811. To help prevent injuries, outages, and loss of life, call 811 or visit al811.com before you dig. It's free, it's simple, and it's the law, and it's the first one, so it's Pee Wee down in Grand Bay. Hello, Pee Wee.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Good to hear from you, Pee Wee.
Thank you. Coach, this is going to be our next road game since the Florida State game. And for the past 2 games at home, our line has played pretty well. Didn't get the running game going quite as much as we would have liked to as against Wisconsin, but the offense moved very well. We're going into a hostile environment again this week. And 2 of the things that you really got to have for a good offensive line is good communication and good cohesion. So I'm just wondering, what is the progression made in those things so we can operate at a good level in all this noise that we're fixing to face?
Yeah, just repetitions are always going to make you better. I got to be quality repetitions. And I think just after every game, just like you would every practice, but the game is, just really dissected. And I think Coach Grubb and the staff do a great job there offensively. And you've seen the execution. It's really been a point of emphasis for them. And I know that's a point of emphasis for our whole team, but for them in particular, they've just really done a better job of improving the efficiency of each play, especially on first and second down, which has led to better third down opportunities. Against Florida State, we had a lot of third and longs and extra longs, and that number has come down. Well, you got to execute, and that's been a real point of emphasis, I know, for him, Coach Grubb, and the offensive side. And so just more of the same. The communication, as you said, in an environment like we're going to be in, certainly a challenge. But we couldn't get it any louder than we had it today. I promise you that. You couldn't hear the person right next to you. So that's what we'll continue to do, and we'll do that again tomorrow, and continue to work those reps over and over and over again.
Coach, when you play your style, it's an up-tempo style. But also it seems like when there's a lot of noise and chaos, teams can get rushed. How do you go hurried without being rushed and too quick in what you're trying to get done?
Yeah, we need to hustle. Definitely. I mean, that's right. I don't care what sport you're in. I don't care what you're doing. You want to preach that. You want to hustle to get to your spot, be able to survey what's going on, and that's the cycle of a play, offensively, defensively. Be able to take in the down and distance, take in what's in front of you, and the situation that you have at hand. And so we really preach that. And, for us, one thing we want to use is we want to use the crowd noise on offense to our benefit. So with a lot of shifting and motioning that we do, we want to force the defense to communicate too. And so that's no secret. We've done that, and we've said it out loud, and it's pretty obvious when you turn our film on. That's a lot of what we do, and so maybe if I keep talking more about it, we can talk them into coming with their noise down. Now that I think about it, huh? So let's just keep on the topic here. But
I'm all for it.
But that's what we want to try to do. We want to try to put the pressure back on their defense and their communication in that environment as well.
All right, Coach, let's go back to the phones. Landon is in Coker, Alabama. How you doing, Landon?
Good.
Go ahead, bud.
My question, Coach, what's the most important thing you've learned since your first year with Ty Simpson that you didn't anticipate? And how do you see him leveraging that specific athletic growth to give the Tide an edge against Georgia in the upcoming game?
Well, the second part about the athletic, what was you talking about Ty specifically?
He was.
And his athleticism? Okay. I just think that the growth, I can't say it's a surprise or what I've learned. It's what I'd hope for with Ty's growth that you've seen here from week 1 to week 2 and now to week 3. You really saw that curve jump heavily, from week 1 to week 2. And
that should be for your team, but also especially for a quarterback. And he put so much work into it that, just cleaning up those little things that he could have done better, it's going to happen. And I think is what you really see, and is what I was really hoping for as well, is that the cohesion between he and, of course, the offensive line, but the timing, you saw that take another step. Him anticipating where guys were going to be, trusting the routes and where they're going to be run, the depth. And then I think the other piece was really knowing through seeing Monroe play a game, at least one game, and what that's going to look like defensively in their structure. And then also Wisconsin with a couple games. It gave him another level of confidence that knowing what he was going to see in front of him matched up with what we were going to do to attack it. And I think that's where you saw a lot of the efficiency and the execution that I was talking about earlier take those steps. And, of course, as the quarterback, he's the guy that leads the way.
And you talk about leading, Coach. Obviously, his confidence in himself has grown with the success he's had and just time period in that spot. But also, if you could talk to the team's confidence in him now that it's been carried a couple of times to the field and not just the practice field.
Yeah, and how can you not, right? I mean, just when you see him staying in the pocket and delivering a throw, on a third down and creating with his legs and making the checks the way they need to. And I know the defense doesn't know exactly what's going on with every check he's making, but they see enough to know that, okay, we do our part defensively, or we do our part, as an offensive line. We give this guy any time, and if I run my route at the right depth, I'm going to get the ball. Defensively, man, if we do our part, we can win a game. And just keep fighting. And that's a lot of what a team needs to go through. And your experiences together is, that belief happens through the things you see and the things you feel and the things you do together.
877-202 BAMA is the number to call if you'd like to be a part of the program. And also, as we mentioned earlier, a chance for you to be a part of the show if you will reach out through our UA Athletics Hey Coach live stream on Facebook or YouTube. We'll be taking questions from there as well. Stay with us. We got more coming up, just really getting things going with Coach Kalen DeBoer here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
They'll swing it to him out of the backfield. A wheel route. Catch is made. Touchdown, Jam Miller.
My name is Jamarian Miller, quote-unquote nickname Jam Miller. I'm from Tyler, Texas, and I went to Tyler Legacy. I play running back. I've been growing up playing running back since Pop Warner, since I was 4 years old, playing flag football, and I feel like that position just stick with me, as I got older and older, and I've become great at the position, the better I learn about the sport.
20, 15, 10-5, touchdown, Alabama.
Yes, I always wanted to play in the NFL. I always grew up watching this since I was young, and just being able to have that dream, ahead of me, it's really a blessing. Of course, I could have went anywhere else, played, start freshman year, but, I had to think about, am I worried about my present time, or do I have to worry about what could lead me into the future in many years afterwards? And, just seeing, how Bama produced backs, with me changing that mind, I feel like I made the best decision of my life. I always say Josh Jacobs. He's, short, stocky guy, and like what Coach G say, he always say, I remind him of Josh Jacobs, the playing style. And, just being able to watch him, it's just trying to learn how good he is, and try to put it in my game. Coach DeBoer, he's more like a father figure. He's more player-oriented. He always asks us, what can we change? He try to get our feedback and not him wanting to change things himself, and I feel like that's a big thing for a head coach. Hey, everyone, I want to say I really appreciate each and every one of y'all. Without y'all, we wouldn't be who we are, with y'all commitment to this school, with y'all, cheering on us. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Miller, and he will walk into the end zone for an Alabama touchdown.
Will have an empty set. They'll go a little misdirection on the underhand. Flip Bernard. 10. Bernard to the edge. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown. Jeremy Bernard, a 16-yard TD. His second of the night. And Alabama has a 13-0 lead here in the opening quarter. Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show are presented by Alfa Insurance, Auto, Home, Life, Business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. I'm Chris Stewart, back with you here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Glad to have you with us here for our program. Look forward to getting some questions from the Alabama football Facebook page in just a moment. But Coach, we got a question from a young man in the audience. Go ahead, buddy. Tell us your name and then ask Coach your question.
My name's David, and my question is, what's your goals for your college football team?
For our team? Well, for this year, I mean, it's just every single game we just want to try to get better, kind of what I was talking about earlier, continue to improve and be the best we can be. You know, that's really all I'm going to ask from my staff, from our players, each and every week, each and every year. That's really been how I approach things. And so, you know, it's going to be no different. And, you know, we're going to live with the results, and we're going to feel pretty confident what those results can be when we accomplish that.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy. We got a microphone down front. If you got a question, please come down front to our right here, or my right, and we'll be glad to get some questions from you. In fact, we'll go back to the phones and get one. Tommy is in Leeds. Go ahead, Tommy.
What's going on, Coach? How you doing? Roll Tide, Coach DeBoer.
Roll Tide.
Hey, I got a question for you. I know it's going to be a loud environment down in Athens Saturday night. How are we going to contain their receivers on defense with our DBs? And I'll hang up and listen. Roll Tide.
Yeah, you bet. Roll Tide. Yeah, you know, that's certainly a challenge. They got a couple guys that certainly are an echelon above when it comes to the yards here early in the season. But you can see that there's qualities that each of them bring to the table that are a little bit different. And, you know, I think one of the highlighted ones, you know, is Branch. And he not only is a threat, just getting the ball to his hands and having him take off and run. And he hit a, you know, big screen that was just a throw behind the line of scrimmage against Tennessee, took it to the house, but he's also a punt returner, kick returner, you know, and so they have those type of weapons, they have those type of threats, and so what we got to do is we got to do a good job with knowing, you know, the coverage, knowing where our help's at, you know, anticipating, you know, with what we've seen so far, be ready for something new, we'd be ready for those double moves and whatever it might be. But we got to rally to the ball, and not just the person who's one-on-one with those guys, but the entire team, because you know, that's what we got to do a great job of, is just pursuit to get these guys down, because they can break tackles, but as much as anything, they're elusive, and they have speed, so they don't even really give a lot of guys a chance to get their hands on you.
Coach, we've got our first question from our AL.com Alabama football Facebook page. It's from Guy down in Mobile. Guy says, hey, Coach, you have had incredible, let me try that again. Hey, Coach, you have an incredible 6-0 record coming off the bye week, including many wins over nationally ranked teams. What do you attribute this success to? Thank you, and Roll Tide. And I'm obviously talking about your time at Fresno, Washington,
Sure.
and now
Yeah.
in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a combination of a number of things. I think it's probably in most cases getting some guys back healthy, and so you have your team. I think another thing is just having a good coaching staff that puts a great game plan together, and in many cases, you know, scheming up things that you can do to attack your opponent. And then I think the other part is just, again, I go back to repetitions to execute better, and with a longer week and getting a game plan in place, and it's just more time and more reps for your players to go out there and execute what you try to do. And so, you know, we throw a lot on our guys every single week when it comes to adjustments, and you have to gauge it, you know, throughout the week on, okay, can we handle all of this, and do we need to peel it back, you know, or is it full throttle? And our guys are really, you know, this is stuff that we can handle. And I think when you have a bye week, you know, again, there's that balance of not trying to do too much, but also, you know, give them some new looks, give them some new wrinkles, offensively, defensively, and of course being able to have that time also to match up with what you're going to see and feel comfortable with that.
Coach, we go back to the phones. Woodbridge, Virginia is where Mike is standing by. Go ahead with your question for Coach, Mike.
Hey,
Coach. Good evening. Thank you for taking my call. One question and one comment. The question I have for you, Coach, is for attributes for people in your staff and players on your team. What attribute means the most to you in terms of building culture? Secondly, Coach, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you and the team for dealing with early season adversity and coming back from it. There's naysayers aplenty across the country and even with our own fan base. And you guys have answered the call the last 2 weeks. And I know you'll do it this weekend at Georgia, Coach. Go turn the lights off in Georgia. Roll damn Tide, Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for the call. And I think, when it comes to the quality, that you're looking for in a staff, I think just anyone, it's consistency. You just want to know what to expect when you walk in the door. I don't care of football office, a business office. I think that's just a huge quality for, anyone to have as an individual is that people that you're around, they know what to expect when you show up. And that's what I want from our coaches. That's what I want from our team. And so obviously that consistency needs to be at a high level, right? It's not just coming in and just, doing your job. It's doing your job at a high level. It's bringing everything you got, high level of energy, and just over time building the trust with each other because, everyone's pouring as much as they possibly can into making us as a successful group as possible. So, and I appreciate the support. I'm pleased with the response the guys have had, but it's still early in the season. We got a lot of football, and I'm just tell these guys to just keep the pedal down on the edge that they have because I know it's carried us into a high level of improvement here in the last 2 to 3 weeks since the Week 1 game against Florida State.
Coach, Kirby Smart, obviously, 2 national titles as a head coach, several others that we were happy about when he was wearing Alabama gear on our sidelines. But what are some things specifically about his defense that are maybe unique? And how do you try to counter those without giving away the family secrets?
Yeah, no, first of all, it's how hard they play, right? And they're flying around, and, that's the way that their team plays. But you ask them specifically defensively, these guys are flying around and playing team football, very disciplined. And then on top of that, executing a lot of different things to keep your quarterback, to keep your offensive line, kind of wondering, where the pressure is going to come from, what's the coverage that we're seeing. And so things that fit together, to fit not just their style, but, schemes that can be disguised to look like one thing, and they're executing another. So, they keep the ball in front of them, for the most part, just really trying to live to see another down and make you play another snap.
Coach, Gunnar Stockton, really good, obviously, really solid quarterback, but he can do it much like Ty. He's good with the arms, with his arm, with his legs. How do you contain a guy that's a dual threat option?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with him is he's just been efficient. He's been efficient, high completion percentage, 71%, and delivering the ball not just on short passes, but when he identifies a one-on-one. He saw some matchups that were in his favor in every game, but especially in this last one, and made those throws, early in the game, late in the game, when the pressure was on. And so, he played in a big game or two, a couple games last year at the end of the season. So he's been battle tested and, can use his legs also to create, whether it's in design runs or with, the opportunity to extend plays and pass plays that break down. So just got to do a really good job, and you can tell he's a competitor.
For those that may have missed it at the top of our visit with Coach, gave us an update on Jamarian Latham and doing well. He's in the hospital still, but looks like he's doing well for now, and we'll miss him for a little while. But 2 guys that I know feel pretty good about, Coach, about having back available to you, a running back and an interior defensive lineman that are pretty important to the squad. Update us if you can on where things are for a couple of key pieces to the puzzle, to say the least.
Yeah, Jam and Tim Keenan, offense and defense, one on each side of the ball. We've been missing these guys the entire year, and so it's really good to have them back out there on the football field. I think just the vibe that surrounds them. They do it in different ways. Jam's a little more quiet. TK's got a little more, a little more vocal. He's a little more vocal, and so. But then in the end, you can tell their presence is there, and so that's one part of it. And then obviously the playmaking and how they can help us, whether it's interior with TK and just being a big body that we've probably missed here the last couple of weeks. And then Jam with some explosiveness and just an all-purpose back that can protect, can run the ball, can catch the ball in the backfield, be a threat that way.
Not just because it's a tough opponent, but specifically with the thinking that the run game will be so important on both sides. No better time to get those guys back, is it, Coach?
Yeah, no question. I mean, it's going to be a physical game, and both of these guys are physical-type football players, right? You just look at them, and you can see that that's who they are in their own way. One is a running back, and one is a defensive lineman.
All right, Coach, let's get one more question from here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. If you'll tell us your name, buddy, and then give us your question.
Sure. Hey, my name is Jake. Quick question. So who are the vocal leaders on the team, and then what players lead more just by their example?
Yeah, I think there's a whole team of guys that lead by example. We got a hardworking group, and there's without a doubt when you ask them to do something, they're all about it. But I think where you really got to have is the vocal guys. And Tim Keenan, I mean, we've just been talking about, he's one of the most vocal guys in the football team. And I think one thing that he's got this experience in our program, and it goes way back. And guys refer to him as the old head, and all that kind of stuff. He's been through it, but his story's pretty awesome too. Something that would be awesome to talk about more with more time. But I think one guy that's really stepped up a lot is our QB. Just really proud of the way Ty's become more vocal, and especially in the wake of some adversity, you've really seen that come on. And what I love about it is it's just real genuine. It's real. It's heartfelt. The way he talks and the appropriate times, he just really has a good sense. He's really grown as a leader that way. And so there's more guys that lead in a vocal way, but I would say those two guys are one offense, one defense. If I had to pick them, it'd be those guys. I mean, our guest here, Bray, is going to be one of those guys that picks and chooses the right time to say the things, and when he speaks, everyone listens because it's not all the time, but it's at the right time. And that'd be something that I would say about Bray, and his vocal leadership.
We're going to talk to Bray Hubbard on the other side of a break. Coach, we'll let you visit with some of the folks here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. But first, we're going to pause 10 seconds so our local stations can identify themselves to you. Welcome to the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
It's Bama ball. A takeaway. LT Overton.
My name is LT Overton. I'm from Milton, Georgia, and I went to Milton High School. I used to tell my mom, I want to hit somebody just like an Alabama football player when I grow up. And it was always just about being able to hit somebody, being able to release some anger, just striking. We had a D-line meeting, and that was us talking about how are we going to move about around the world, letting other people look at us. We want to walk in every room, on every football field, in any location you could think of, and know that this is the D-line coming through. Y'all better lock in. I just feel like just having that opportunity to carry out just that little weight on our shoulders is an excitement just to be on the field, because it pushes us to make us want to go harder and harder, so we are supporting our guys at all times. I know being around all those national championship teams as a kid, especially when my dad was the assistant athletic director here, that
we got you. You hear me okay?
What made my decision on coming to transfer here, especially when you get older, you start to realize every college you go to is copying something that Alabama's doing. Playing for Coach DeBoer, he's going to let you do you, but still make sure that you're fitting into the Alabama standard. The way he's mending things together now, it's going to be one hell of a season. When I'm in that tunnel, all I could think about is me being that kid in the stands. Like, am I going to be able to live up to that moment that I've always been dreaming of? One of the biggest goals for the season for me is just to be All-American. I see All-Americans on the Alabama wall every day, Even first round, I just want to be on that wall when I bring my kids here one day.
Alabama going with a four-man front as Wisconsin will shift and put a man in the backfield to the right of Danny O'Neal. That is Jones, as O'Neal will fire and it's picked off. Intercepted Alabama. Bray Hubbard getting the pick. The junior from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, steps in the passing lane, and Bama gets a takeaway right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show. Submit your question on our UA Athletics Hey Coach live stream on Facebook or YouTube. We're checking that out. We've got a lot of folks checking us out there. If you got a question online, go ahead and give it to us. Coach DeBoer signing a few autographs, taking a few pictures, and it gives us a moment to visit with the guy who just made the highlight that we played for you coming out of the break. Bray Hubbard, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Exciting week. I know every week you get a chance to take the field for the University of Alabama. It's special, but games like this one, a matchup on the road in the SEC against Georgia, really, really special.
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. I'm excited to go out there. We have a great week of preparation so far, but got to keep stacking days to go get the dub on Saturday.
How do you keep from being overhyped, for lack of a better term, on a Tuesday or a Wednesday when you got to play the game on Saturday? I know you got to have energy, you got to have effort, but to not play the game in one sense maybe on a Tuesday, how do you avoid that?
It's hard, honestly, because, you get so amped up getting ready for a game that it's like, man, you're going to get some looks in practice that you may see in the game, so it's just like you got to take it like a game rep. So that's what every day is, and it's a constant fight. Our scouts do a great job in practice of giving us the looks we need to go out there on Saturdays and play our hardest. So kudos to them. They're going freaking at it every day with us. So,
yeah. Coach, when you take over at a new school, I know there's film, I know there's reputation. You may have even recruited some of the guys, but I can already tell the smile on your face. You can kind of see where I'm maybe going with this. Bray Hubbard and how he has grown and developed. I'm not even going to go with a question. I just want to know why you two guys are.
Well, I don't know if I knew of Bray. I knew a little bit, but I do remember the first or second practice. You know what I'm talking about.
I know
7-on-7.
I know where you're going.
It's we don't even have pads on.
Right.
And this guy's blowing up our receivers, blowing them up. I'm flipping out because it's the first practice and there's a certain tempo and we don't even have pads on and stuff. And so, and that's just, what I remember of Bray. And I was like,
dang it. New coach already on the bad side. Not good at all.
He was right there, just thumping dudes. And so, I was just, in that moment, you're trying to run a good practice, and these are your first ones, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, this guy likes to hit.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's an encouraging thing, I know, going forward. Tell me your first impression of Coach when he came in.
I remember, actually, this was the craziest day ever, honestly, because I think was it a Friday that you got there? So, Friday, I went back home to see my dad, and Ellis sends out a Teamworks. Hey, Coach DeBoer will be coming in. He's flying down here from Washington. He's going to be the next head coach. He'll be here approximately 9 o'clock. I'm not even lying. I sat on the couch for 30 minutes at my house with my family, and I'm like, well, got to go back to Tuscaloosa. I'll see y'all later. I don't know when. I don't know if I'll come back or whatever. And then my brother was actually home, and he was like, you know what, I'll go with you. I'll ride back to Tuscaloosa with you. Make sure you stay up, whatever. So he rides over to Tuscaloosa with me. It's about 3 hours, so it's not too bad. We get here. We go to Moe's Southwest Grill because we got back probably 2 hours to spare. And we get there, and here comes Coach DeBoer walking in, not at Moe's, but at the facility. And you know, honestly, it was kind of quiet. You probably remember it was a little quiet at first. Like, I mean, it's definitely different. But you know, I trusted Greg Byrne, honestly. And I was like, he told us 72 hours to get the next best head coach in college to come here and coach y'all. I said, let's do it. So saw Coach DeBoer, and I was like, let's get to work. Let's go. So that's it. That was honestly my first impression of Coach DeBoer was when he walked in. I mean, everything he was saying was just like, man, I'm all in. So
when you get the buy-in before you've ever taken the practice field, that's got to help considerably.
Yeah, especially from your leaders, and you know, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to get you know, your key guys, and there's a level of you know, guys buying in. And I mean, I think that it never ends. Honestly, it never ends because every team is its own team, and so you know, there's roles and things guys want, and they're things that doesn't matter even who the head coach is. It's just a matter of what they're trying to get out of their college career, and so. Yeah, but you know, the story, just as you hear it from Bray, and just a lot of players who just believe in this place, believe in, you know, in what we can accomplish, and believe in themselves, you know, and that's the journey we're on.
So is it true that after 2 picks in the last game, he asked about getting some reps at wide receiver, just because he proved the?
It hasn't got to me from him yet.
Okay.
But no.
Really, I'd be out there competing with Ty. Back to my glory days, throwing the ball or something.
Were you a quarterback in high school too?
I was. But honestly, I don't think I could do it anymore. Coach Blue has me so big now, I don't think my shoulder could actually get up to be able to throw anymore.
So good. You know, it's amazing to hear that, and not surprised that a guy's as athletic coach. I know you've heard the stories too, but Coach Bryant would sign 10 quarterbacks, and 8 of them would be DBs or something else by the time they got to the first practice at Alabama. It's not surprising. Great athletes.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. And you know, every school is different, right? Depends on the size and things like that. But in a lot of cases, right, unless if it's just this pure quarterback that's you know, top end guy that can go play that position at the next level or beyond, it's going to be your best athletes, and that, you know, that's certainly the case, and what you'd see with Bray and why he was playing quarterback himself.
I'm just thinking of a guy named Ardarius Stewart who played at Alabama, was part of a national championship team. I saw him played for a small high school. I did one of his high school games, and he was a receiver, and quarterback would he'd play quarterback for 3 downs, and if they couldn't get a first down, they'd put another receiver at quarterback and just throw it somewhere in Ardarius's direction and just go let him go get it. And it worked pretty well. It's funny how that happens at that level. Let's go to another question from the audience. Yes, sir, if you tell us your name before you ask your question.
Yeah, it's Brent for Bray. I know our wide receivers are real good, and our receiving core, and a lot of them have a lot of wiggle. I'm curious, who's the toughest to cover in the initial part, and who's the toughest to cover after they get the ball?
Initial part, Ryan. I mean, he's just so shifty, and the clip in the game where he juked the guy on the sideline, I immediately went to Coach Blue and said, I could never stop that quick. Like, I don't see how he does it. But I mean, down the field, it's just, I mean, all the guys have incredible speed, so it's, if they beat you with a move, like playing catch up with them, like it's hard, honestly. I mean, all of our guys can take the top off, and so it's challenging. And you know, we have to play, you know, our technique, whatever leverage we're playing, know where our help is to try to stop those guys. But I mean, when you have 3 of them out there at a time, it's like, well, it's difficult, but you know, we get it done. So,
Coach, I know you don't go a lot of 1s versus 1s, but if you need to replicate something, it's pretty nice to be able to do that for a few plays in practice, isn't it? So those guys can get a look at what they might see on the other side on a Saturday.
Yeah, we get a lot of good work versus good in. You know, we do it for sure in a team setting, usually in a 7-on-7 setting. They get their 1-on-1s as well, pretty much every practice, especially on Tuesday and Wednesdays. So we had a contested 2-minute drill today.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it was a good one. That was one of the best ones I've ever seen. So
that was a good one.
It was back and forth, and it was fun to be a part of. A lot of learning lessons that happen when you playing at a high level, practicing at a high level.
Awesome. our second question from our AL.com Alabama football Facebook page. It's from Mary Catherine, who's in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Hey, Coach, with a hostile environment expected on Saturday night, can you comment on the importance for us to stay disciplined and avoid penalties? Mary Catherine says her family's going to be cheering on the Tide in the ATL.
Yeah, I think both sides of the ball, right? Defensively, a lot of the penalties you have are going to lead to an automatic first down and an extension of the drive, which gives them more opportunities to get the crowd involved. And I think, from an offensive standpoint, penalties are going to put you behind the chains. When you're behind the chains, there's probably more of a percentage that you're going to pass, and now that pass rush gets a chance to tee off with probably a silent cadence, and that's hard. That's hard enough. So without that, so just all those things do matter. You got to play good, disciplined football, and just try to continue to keep the progress you need, especially on offense there.
Let's go back to the phones, and Colton's up in Tennessee. Go ahead, Colton.
I have a question for Coach DeBoer.
Go ahead.
I've noticed that you have a better winning record whenever you have the black hoodie on. Is that what you're going to be rocking in Atlanta?
A couple of players have made me aware of that, and my family. So my daughters. So
you're going to have, whether they have a blackout or not, they're on their sidelines. You may have one personally. Is that right?
We're wearing white, so I definitely won't be wearing white.
I
I'll wear a
understand.
contrasting color. So
I understand.
We'll leave the suspense. But
We'll
more than likely, with it being a night game and everything, it'll probably be that. So.
Good deal. All right.
I'm not trying to be suspenseful here either. I'm just trying to.
I understand. All right, we got a question from Tennessee along that line. Or speaking of that state, they played Georgia this past weekend. 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. What kind of advantage, if any, does it give you to see Georgia against Tennessee or anybody else in the league? Just from a speed standpoint, and to see it, I guess, in live action rather than just the film.
Yeah, I think knowing, when you talk about athletes that are comparable, the style of offensive system and defensive scheme and stuff, it might be different, but from Tennessee versus us, but it does give you an indication, and it gives us a pretty good understanding of them having to use some of their things, just like we've had to use a lot of our schemes, in the games that are a little more contested.
Yeah. Bray, you guys had an off weekend. Weren't a ton of great games, but did you guys watch any? What'd you watch?
I did. I just kind of just flipped through everything. But I'll tell you, Saturday I was at my hunting camp, putting out some corn to see what kind of deer I got on camera for the year. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. Then I went home and turned on. So I'm a Mississippi guy, so I was like, man, I guess I'll watch Ole Miss and see what they're doing. So
yeah,
flipped on that. But that was really about it. I spent my day at the hunting camp with my dad. Got some father-son time while I can, especially during the season. So to get ready for deer season with him, because my brother moved up to Nashville, so he can't be there to help my dad out. So I was like, you know what, Dad, I'm going to come home and help you out. So that's what I did on Saturday.
If you weren't already way up on Bama fans' list, I know you talking about working at hunting camp just sent you to another level with a bunch of them. I know that is the case for sure. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, and we'll have more from both Bray Hubbard and Coach Kalen DeBoer here from Baumhauer's Victory Grill on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Our show's brought to you in part by Coca-Cola. Passionate fans and an ice cold Coca-Cola, that is a winning combo. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. Glad you're with us here for another segment with Coach Kalen DeBoer and also Bray Hubbard, the Ocean Springs, Mississippi native. Coach, the Tide taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. This is a rivalry that goes way back. Bama's had the better of it as of late. Last year, a weird game. Great start, and they had to gamble on some things, which I felt like made it kind of what it was. I know it got dicey. In fact, they took the lead late, but there are probably, if that is only a 2-score game to start the second half as opposed to 3 or 4 score, whatever it happened to be, I'm not so sure things would have kind of gone the way they had. They probably don't gamble like they did, would they?
I don't know. I know Coach. I've seen Coach Smart go for it a lot of times. Even when the score isn't what it was, so it's hard to know. But the way our guys executed in the first half and just made plays, and there really was very few trick play. It really wasn't anything like that. It was just executing our base stuff, and doing what we do. And so just doing it at a high level and got off the field and got points on the board, played physical, and, had to have to continue to do that for 4 quarters, though. And we certainly learned that last year. And but I also think we also learned that, it's never over till it's over, and it goes both ways, and you just always fight to the very end because of what happened, as crazy as it was going against us, all of a sudden, one play and we're back on top, and the guys found a way to get off the field on the last drive defensively as well.
All right, Coach, let's get one more question for the audience for the night. If you would, tell us your name first.
My name is Anshul. Georgia's offense showed in that Tennessee game that they have the ability to be explosive downfield. How do you prepare for that as a defense, knowing if you put too much of an emphasis on that they can just dink and dunk and run the ball down the field and score on you?
Yeah, we got to play discipline at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to, doing our jobs to the best of our abilities. They have great receivers across the board, great tight ends. They utilize their tight ends a lot. They have really good running backs. I think there's 3 of them that rotate in and out, and they all do a really good job. But like I said earlier, even like going against our offense in practice, it's doing our job over and over and over, not forcing things. When you do your job, plays come to you, and that's what we got to do.
Coach, hard to believe we're already here, though, but the final word presented by our friends at McCurry Van and Car Rental. Coach, what have you got for us?
Yeah, just excited about this weekend. A great challenge. We start SEC play, and our guys, have had a couple good weeks now to just continue to gain momentum, continue to stack days and improve. And we're looking forward to taking the field. Be a night kickoff, and be a great atmosphere.
Bray, how about you? You got anything to say to the fans as we're about to head to Athens for the weekend?
Let's do it. Let's go. It's about that time.
It is about that time. Great stuff. Appreciate you both very much. Thank you for the time, and best of luck to you this weekend, guys.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
Coach Kalen DeBoer and Bray Hubbard, kind enough to join us here from Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Another edition of Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show, presented by Alfa Insurance, auto, home, life, business. Alfa Insurance covers it all. AlfaInsurance.com. We're coming back and wrapping things up right after this on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. GMC in Tuscaloosa, where Barkley makes it easy, presenting our James Spann Game Day weather forecast. Looking forward to the matchup, of course, between Bama and the Bulldogs. It will, that, of course, be what's on tap next for Bama, presented by Coors Light. Crimson Tide fans choose to chill with an ice-cold Coors Light. Next up, Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs Saturday at Sanford Stadium in Athens. The broadcast starts at 3:30 p.m. Central on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, presented by Learfield, and it will be brought to you by Visit Pensacola. Visit Pensacola. It's the way to beach, Tide fans. Also, a special thank you to Christopher Mobley, the preferred luxury clothing provider of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Do want to remind you that if you missed any portion of tonight's show, you can always catch it on demand on our Alabama Insider podcast. Download and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. We've had a lot of fun with tonight's program. Rob Vaughn, Alabama head baseball coach, spent some time with us on the show, as did his veteran catcher, Will Platner. Enjoyed the conversation with those two gentlemen. Again, Bama baseball, the Friday night before the Tennessee game in Tuscaloosa, Tennessee football game on the Saturday, Bama baseball will be hosting Lipscomb in an exhibition at Sewell Thomas Stadium. Again, that's Friday